Hey friends, welcome to Woman Owned Wallet, the podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Dare, a serial entrepreneur who has already made all of the money mistakes, so you don't have to. Now I'm working on my money mindset, expanding my companies, and having open conversations with women around a subject that shouldn't be so taboo, money. My company, Woman Owned Wallet, and I are determined to help you foster a more positive relationship with your wallet and help you create a life that makes you say, wow. Hi, Moneymakers. Welcome back to another episode with Melissa, my money mindset coach. Welcome back, Melissa.
Thanks. And hi, Moneymakers. I'm super excited to have another quick hit for you. And this one is really good.
It's so good. When you said quick hit, I was like, ooh, like a bump. like drugs. Sorry
we don't condone drugs here.
I mean, I did hear this really great quote at Startup Week Louisville last week, and he said, "Good dope sells itself." Now, anytime I mention something to my husband where I'm like, "Oh, this product's so good," he says it back to me. He's like, "Good dope sells itself," and I was like, "It fucking does." Anyways, it's not about drugs today.
This is not
not about it. Listen, you do you. Talk to a doctor, all that stuff. So we're not actually medical professionals or
in any regard
or financial. We are financial professionals. No?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not CPAs. We're not lawyers. So these are just thoughts.
You don't have to have a certification to be a professional, okay?
Financial professional could be a lot of things.
Half of it's about how you show up.
Yeah. We're money mindset professionals.
That's right.
That's where it's at. So anyways, welcome back. Little vibes. So today I wanted to talk mostly with Melissa about possibility. The entire word makes me excited and makes me want to daydream all day about it. And I don't know, I just feel like this is going to be a really positive episode.
I think it's going to be great. I have always been the planned out. I spend a lot of time when I'm thinking about possibility, it's more like dollars and cents written down on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started actively giving myself time to daydream about possibility, that's when it really started to manifest itself in my life.
I love that. I don't picture you as a daydreamer, and I like that you are.
Yeah, I'm not a daydreamer. It's something that I have to put real effort into. It's a muscle that I'm learning to grow.
I love that. Everything's a muscle. You got to use it. You know, you got to feel it. You got to interact with it to have some kind of good impact. So you got to do that with possibility too.
It's all about relationships. You got to give. If you want, give back, you got to give in.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay. So you had a really great quote.
Yeah. So Henry Ford, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Oh my God. Blows my mind. That's a good quote. Really good quote.
I've loved that one for quite a while.
That's so good. Because it's so true.
It's so true.
And why am I talking like this?
The deeper you think about it, the deeper you realize that it really is true.
Mm-hmm. I think the deeper I think about it, the deeper my voice goes. I'm like, whoa. It's like mind blown voice. So yeah, I totally agree. So it's whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Let it sink in, everybody. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in that quote right now. Little meditation moment. So if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. So Melissa, how can we go from thinking that we can't and being right to thinking that we can and being right? What's something that we can do to kind of help our mindset shift?
My favorite practical step is when you have a thought that you want to believe is true, but you're really struggling to actually believe it. Put the words, "it's possible" in front of the statement. So if you want to be a successful businesswoman and you don't believe that about yourself yet, you just say, "It's possible that I could be a successful businesswoman.
It's possible.
It opens your brain to be like, okay, yeah, I do know these other women that are successful. And it gives your brain the permission to go out and find evidence that it's true.
Absolutely. So the phrase, it's possible. So it's possible that I want to eat a brownie right now. It's possible that I want to eat chips right now. That's what's on the table. It's possible that the people listening might not want to hear me eating a brownie or chips right now. So I'm just trying to make it silly as well. Like, it can be something about being a successful businesswoman, of course. I mean, I'm trying to still believe myself that I can be a successful businesswoman. And of course, it's our own version of success, blah, 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 all those things that we know to be true. But putting it in front of anything, no matter how small, is my point. No matter how big is my point. So Melissa had some really good information that's just like, get out as like outrageous as you can possibly consider, to know like what possibilities are even out there. And I love a daydream. I love a brainstorm, or even a brain dump. Like if you just get a computer out and you're just like tapping away, that was some ASMR for you.
Or if you're like me, you have to have pen and paper, get it out of your brain onto paper. It gives it the opportunity to become real.
Externally process on a podcast, do whatever you got to do.
Absolutely. And I feel like if you have trouble finding that possibility, that is the time that you know you need to put forth the effort to find the possibility.
Oh, Melissa, that was gold. That's so true. Anytime you think you don't need it and you're maybe in that really negative place, it's when you need it the most.
There's so many women that I've spoken to that tell me, I just wish I could be good with money, but I don't think that's possible for me. Well, number one, it's possible for everyone. So if that's how you feel, I promise you it is possible for everyone. But you're not going to be able to go from thinking I'm terrible with money to thinking I'm great with money. You start with a baby step. Yet again, we're going back to this whole move towards neutral.
Yeah.
So just,
well, because that's really what helped me the most, Melissa, is you helping me I was in such a negative place. Getting to positive felt impossible. And so I had to know it's possible to get neutral first and have those like bridge thoughts, basically, that can help you get to a positive place. And I'll tell you that Melissa and I worked together for over a year, and it honestly took me that long to be like, you know what, Melissa, I think I can do a few less sessions now. And she's like, oh my gosh, yay, congratulations. Like, this is amazing. So I feel like there's just that, you have to give yourself that processing time. You know, you have to give yourself that intentional time to really think about it. And if you're always in that place of it's not possible, then you can never get to it's possible. You have to say it's possible to be neutral first.
And if that's even too hard for you, find one person that has done what it is that you want to believe about yourself. And you can use Amanda as an example.
I'll be your example. Let's go, baby.
You tell yourself, Amanda was able to do this. So it's possible that I could too.
Yeah. And I know you guys don't know my full journey, but I've shared a lot of it on this podcast of how many money mistakes that I've made. And I've made them so that you don't have to, as our opening states. So please take some of these in, and maybe they don't all apply. I'm sure they won't all apply because we're all very different people. However, it's very important to know that you can learn something from anyone. You can learn something from a random person walking down the street, or from your family, or from your friends, or from this random podcast that you randomly turned on one day. So make sure that you know that if it is possible for me, where I reached out to Melissa and I didn't need to wait till I was at my rock bottom. I waited until I was at my rock bottom and I reached out to Melissa to finally talk to someone that I felt safe speaking to about my money situation. And it took a long time of processing of little baby steps to be able to get to the place of me now knowing that it's possible that I'm great at money. And guess what? It is possible because it is true now.
Absolutely. And our brains are such a powerful tool that we do not utilize enough. And an example that I like to give people is when you get a new car and it's a kind of car that you've never had before, you see that car everywhere. You never saw the car before.
Right.
And now it's everywhere you look, you see that car. If you give your brain a task, it will go perform the task. If you tell your brain, I'm open to finding all the possibilities of women that I know in my life that are doing well with their money, then your brain is going to do that work for you. You just have to be open to the possibility that it could be true.
Yeah, like even if you're like, okay, it's possible that this woman has gotten through this. It's possible for me too.
Yeah, I lived in my father-in-law's basement and I was $30,000 in debt and I didn't have anything to my name.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a home and I have a 6-figure net worth. And I don't say that to be like, I have a 6-figure net worth.
We're not about that here. We're about just letting you know it's fucking possible.
I live in a modest home. You know, I don't have a flashy car, but I have everything I need and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just moving further and further down that path. So if you need a different example, you can use me. It's possible. You can go from living in your in-laws' basement to owning your own home and living the life that you want.
Yeah. And it's possible to go from being like every account being overdrafted every day and having $10,000 of bank fees like me to not having that.
Absolutely. To having the money to fund all of your dreams.
Yeah, it's possible. I love that. So for me, something I've been trying out, and maybe this will help you, is the phrase like, if I meet up with my husband or Adrian, my COO, they're very similar people. Like my husband and my work wife are very similar. And I need that balance and that harmony for me. And I do scare them a little bit with the dreams and with the things that I want to do, because quite frankly, they know I've done everything that I've pretty much said. But my timeline for doing them is not their timeline. Like if I want to tell you about a dream, I have to go as big as possible in order to be able to like deduce it down into actionable steps. I'm a very action focused person. I love acting on my dreams, as Melissa has seen over the years. And I think Melissa's seen that. My husband's seen that. Adrian's seen that. And then they get a little nervous that, oh, I'm going to do it right now. Everything I say is going to happen right now. So I've instituted this little phrase that allows us each to understand that I am just simply dreaming and trying to one-up myself and get the most amazing and ridiculous and out there and biggest possibility that I can think of. So to give them the space to dream with me and to try to one-up ourselves, we use the phrase, hear me out. Now we know if I say, hear me out, that I'm not in a actionable phase. I'm not in a phase where they have to help me figure out the details. I'm not in a phase where Adriana, COO, is like, but how are we going to make this happen? Which I know is the source of the anxiety, because if she hears that, then she's going to be like, excuse me, my job is to make this happen. I'm like, yeah, girl. But right now, I still need the dream to get as crazy as we can get it, as big as we can get it, as full, as any word that is expansive as we can get it. And I want you to dream with me, because that's exciting and that's fun. And I want us to both be in a place where actions and how to make this happen is not necessary to discuss at this moment. But instead, let's see where we can take it. And that has really helped them both to understand that this phrase, hear me out, just like your phrase, it's possible, it kind of allows the space for that and them to not be stuck in the depths of like, how is this going to happen? I'm in the world of like, what if? And they're in the world, but like of how. Hear that? It's your wine calling. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or just the end of a shitty day, New Vibes Wine is bringing only the best vibes with their Elevate Prosecco-style sparkling wine. So pop the bubbly and get to the celebration. New Vibes Wine was founded by 5 women during the pandemic as a way to celebrate and stay connected during uncertain times. New Vibes is dedicated to providing incredible wines for both the wine curious and the wine connoisseur. Get free shipping on your first order with promo code WOWWINES or visit our link in the show notes. You can even create your own vibes and learn how to host wine parties and impress those bougie friends of yours with the New Vibes Wine Collab Club. Sign up today at newvibeswine.com.
It's such an important distinction. Like you and me, again, we're always so different in the way that we approach things. So for me, my planning, when I dream big, I always go straight into well, how exactly could I make that work? And if that's how you show up, you don't know the how. How could you know the how? If you did, you probably would have already done it. So
true.
when you feel like you can't do it, that is the time that you need the most to just say, I don't need to know the how. I just need to formulate the desire, understand really where it's coming from and why I want it. And the actionable steps will come to you as you go.
Yeah, even the actionable steps, usually I come to them and I'm like, so I already know like 5 people that we can get involved with this. We have this massive, Galentine's Day party. And I want you guys to start getting excited about it now because I'm so excited. And I know because I keep saying massive and epic and like my brain, and I can visualize the entire thing. I'm literally I can sit in the room and I can see it all around me, which is exactly what happened when I walked into this, gray checkered floor store space for WOW. I visualized the entire thing. And it's hard for me to communicate my visualization when I'm basically like living in VR, like my virtual reality in my brain. I can look around the room and see it all. So my mom always says like, people see the pig, but we smell the bacon. I can always smell the bacon. Like I can always visualize. I mean, that's kind of a weird phrase, but I can always, we are in Butchertown, I guess. So, and we do have.
Who doesn't like bacon?
Who doesn't like bacon?
I don't know. Probably a lot of people don't like bacon. But.
We still do though. So, hey. So, I mean, maybe it's like we see the piggy bank, we can smell the money or something like that. We can see the coins. But anyways, so I can visualize it, but I understand that my COO's job is to figure out the operations of it. So she lives in the world of how. And I, as the vision and the CEO and the founder of this big brand, I'm like, okay, how do I make this vibe come to life? How do I bring this energy to this situation? So I can literally visualize the entire thing. And I know everybody involved. So like in my brain. And have I asked any of them? No. But then when I did ask the people, they were like, yes, 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 yes. And I was like, okay, if I can get some validation from a few people. And I already have like pink waffles figured out, like with a caterer. I already have a location. I think we're like talking right now. So don't worry. We will have tons of information on our TikTok and on our Instagram and all of the vibes. And definitely join the email list because we'll probably send out stuff there first. But this epic, massive thing, I have to have a hear me out session with not only my COO, but my husband as well. Because anytime I'm like, it's a big investment and it's a big, thing that I'm going to need time to be able to focus on. So even recording the podcast this week, he was like, hey, I know you're overwhelmed this week. You've got a lot of energy that you're putting out there into the world. I'm going to make sure that the dishes are done all this week, which if you guys know us, if you follow me on my Instagram, I'm the dish girl and he's the chef. Works out really well. We love our situation. Trust me, I've been eating so well. He's such a good cook. I mean, I think you asked to like be invited over.
Yes, because we have Zoom calls and she's sitting here eating this delicious looking food. And I'm just like salivating, like, oh, when do I get the invite? I want some yummy food.
It's like,
I love food.
Oh, so good. That's why I'm like, look at these snacks over here. But it's like, yeah, he'll make me like steak and Brussels sprouts and like everything's from scratch. And he made me elotes with like a crema, like a lime crema. And it's just, yeah, it's really good, you guys. And that's kind of an idea too of just like keeping everybody in their like zone of, genius. Like people talk about that. But anyways, so I have to have these sessions with the people that are very important to me and that can help me in my life to make it a reality. But I don't want them to get caught up in, I'm so overwhelmed by what Amanda's saying to me because I know that in 5 months, I'm going to have to do something. It's okay. I live in the 5 months in the future so that they live in the present, and help me maintain and help me organize. And it's fun because, they're kind of more planners, like you're saying. And the planners, I'm not a planner. I am a planner. It sounds weird when I say that. My primary focus isn't the planning. My primary focus is the vision. So if I can add it's possible or hear me out to any conversation, it's helpful.
I agree. And for those of us who are planners, having the dreamer say, hear me out, it opens our brain to be like, wow, those kinds of ideas are possible. And yet again, when you tell your brain what you want, it goes to work to figure out the answers. So if we can come to the table and you tell me, hear me out, and you tell me a big dream, my normal response would be, well, how is that going to work?
Yeah. How?
That doesn't make sense. Or we've never done that before. How are we going to do it? But when you say, hear me out, I can just sit and listen.
It's like the permission.
Yeah. You give your brain the permission to take in the information and not try to solve the problem.
Exactly. It's not a problem solving time. And I love a problem solving time too. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time because I love how I interact with my business and I love how engaging it is and how challenging it is. Like it's very challenging and very engaging and it's very joyful and, it adds a lot to my life. But if I only sit in the actions and then if I don't sit in the dreams, then it doesn't work together. So you need some time for both.
Absolutely. And whatever is not your natural strong suit, that's what you need to, like you said, that we need to live in our zone of genius, which is definitely a true statement. But you also have to remember that there are the other parts, and the more that you can give to the other parts, the more whole you are.
Yeah, because even like saying that, how I was like, oh, I'm not a planner, but you know what? I've been planning a long time and I love the people around me, but I've made this happen and I've planned all of this and I almost plan longer internally than externally. So if I bring an idea, it's more together than you think, which is probably why I'm causing them anxiety because I will figure it out. And I just know it. I have that understanding of myself, but maybe it's just saying to yourself, because I always think of it as so polarizing and I'm trying to not be as polarizing of, I'm not this, I am this, I'm not that, I am that. And it's like, no, I'm this in certain moments and I'm that in certain moments and I'm a planner sometimes. And I would say I'm a dreamer and visionary person more at some, like, it's kind of like I have on time and off time. Like my actionable time is like my on time of like, okay, I'm getting all this stuff done. We're recording the podcast. I went to 4 events last week. Like that's my energy time. And in my downtime, I'm more of that planner and how is it going to happen and writing it out. So just allowing yourself to flow with yourself and have harmony with wherever you are in that moment helps so much more than being like, I'm not this, I am this. Well, I am all of those things. I'm part of all of those things.
We have all shades of the rainbow, and you get to pick and choose which color you want to use when the situation feels right.
Which marker from the box do you want to draw? Yeah. Do you want to color in your rainbow today? That's so cute.
And you need them all, but you don't always need all of them at the same time.
Yes.
And you get to decide when the time is right to switch from one color to the next. But don't ignore the color because you think, that you don't somehow possess it. You possess within you all the colors that you need.
That was beautiful, Melissa.
Thank you.
Once again, magic.
You can paint with all the colors of the wind, okay?
All the colors of the wind. Oh my God, it's so funny. I love that. Literally, I was walking around so much. I get like earworms, you know? That sounds weird if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's like TikTok sounds where it gets stuck in your head. And there I was walking around and had an earworm or a song stuck in my head, and it was Pocahontas. And it was Colors of the Wind.
It's a good one.
So I was like, you think you own whatever land you stand on? And I was like, So I was feeling those feels. So anyways, let's leave it there. Melissa, that was a beautiful episode. I'm sure you all agree. And we hope that you take time to add possibility to your life, to have those hear me out moments, to have those it's possible moments. And just thank you so much, Melissa, for adding magic to all of our lives yet again.
You're so welcome. I'm so just grateful to be here and get to come and join you guys and have a conversation with you all. It really fills me up.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, moneymakers, we know that we love Melissa and we want to put money into her wallet. So how can they hire you, Melissa?
If you are ready to open yourself up to the possibilities of what is available for you with your money, come see me. It's melissablandfordcoaching.com. It's Facebook at Melissa Blandford Coaching, and Instagram, it's The Real MB Coaching.
The Real MB. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, moneymakers. And moneymakers, please go out there and make that money.
If you want to put more money into the wallets of women like we do, then check out our website, thewomanownedwallet.com. And we can't wait to continue the conversation on our social media. So definitely follow us on our Instagram at womanowned.wallet and on TikTok at womanownedwallet. You can support us by following our podcast on Apple, Google, and Spotify. And don't forget to leave us a review. Thank you for listening to Woman Owned Wallet, the podcast.